All right, we're back with more GemCraft, Chapter 1. Last session, I left myself a note about playstyle. I've been passing these notes to myself. The idea is that I want to try to build a strong AoE gem at the beginning of a stage as quickly as possible, and be willing to move that gem if necessary. I think these are both the same file. This is what I made last time. It's my autosave. Trying 100% Baba before it wins the point spreadsheet. I think once I get to the really hard parts on stream, I do want 100% it, but I'm probably going to have to be pretty aggressive with asking for hints. I don't need stats. Just want to make sure I got my upgrades from last session. Skills, right? 5 skill points left, and I don't think I have anything I can spend them on. Max level reached. I guess I do still. Number of basic starter gems. Good as we're going to get for now. Let's give this stage a try. Splash and steal mana only. I can never tell where they come out of. Do they tend to come out of the bigger building? There's something out there for now, right? My combine button was 6. Oh, I need to have mana for it. That's right. My building's immaculate. They come out of the rubble. Gotcha. Didn't want to go too hard on mana. It helps, but you can overinvest in it, I feel like. Wait, red is splash damage, isn't it? And the orange ones are mana steal. Oops. As long as no monsters get through, it's the right decision to invest in mana pool. Okay. When I first started playing this, I was too into mana pool, and it got me in trouble. So I can kind of get a better feel for that balance. I think I mentioned last session that it feels like it's possible for there to be a an optimal tower placement that you kind of get a vision for eventually. Like you could definitely code a computer to know, okay, there has to be a tower here because it's too strong to not have one there. I also learned that you don't need to like go nuts trying to always have pure gems. It's not that big of a deal. They're nice that they don't make a huge difference. Offense is the best defense. I think that might... Okay, I should have put it here. It was a misclick. It's okay. The benefits of high-level gems are really high. I need to get more splash right now. I'm just not crafting them. Did a demo for the Hollow Knight sequel at E3? Oh, that's cool. Do we have any sense of the timeline on that yet? There's a red gem, golly. Wish I had a keyboard shortcut for speed up. There we go. Gem bombs are kind of your, like, press this button to panic decision. Grade 5, grade 4, grade 4. Oh, I wish I could combine them in the tower. I guess I see why they don't let you do that. Not great to do that while there's a boss mob nearby, but I think we'll still kill it. Put something in there at least. So far, none of the waves have gotten close enough to my third tower, but I can always put something cheap in there just to do it. It's cheap, right? Do allow combining in towers as early as chapter 0. I see. Coming soon according to Nintendo. That's a sentence. It's soon. True. There's an advantage for pushing the waves faster, but no advantage for playing on a faster base speed, right? It doesn't actually change anything. Oh shit. Okay, some of them get through. It's not the end of the world. Oh shit, that wave happened faster than I thought it was gonna happen. Alright, don't die from this, please. Let me turn the fast speed back down. I don't think I'm as ready for that as I hoped I was gonna be. Need to practice more. That's not enough damage. Alright, I should be willing to move gems, right? Not gonna matter. Grade 7's the max grade for a gem, right? Did I mix 2 grade 7 gems there by mistake? I wasn't sure if that was even possible. It's not. Okay. Seems like that's a decent spot for one. Stop changing look after 6, you can continue indefinitely. Okay. Thanks. Grade 6 is the highest you can start with. Oh, from crafting over here on the right side. I see. That cooldown's not that bad, but it seems like it's really important to manage when you trigger it. The red ones are boss waves usually, or particularly difficult waves. Black is boss. This one here. Red is armor, green is speed. Okay, thanks. That one's 6, that one's 7. Actually, hold up. I think it might be my first time making a grade 8 gem, if I can do it in a second here. Oh, I don't have any mana. Ah! Shoot it. Stock those with something. Alright, level 8 gem. Level 8 gem's pretty good. Okay, I want to be moving it as waves get past it. Gotcha. Q17. Oh, yeah, no mana. Oof. Hooray! Let's see how we did. Probably not great. At least 2 gems grade 7 or higher. 15 combined gems in one battle. 25 gems in one battle. Those are worth a decent amount of points. Okay. Back to the map. Presumably gets me some more skill points. No, it's not too bad. It could be better, but... I have 9 skill points. Powerful gem bombs. Not as excited about that. Starter gems, I guess, might help going forward-ish. Get my early economy moving faster. Probably less useful than like the mana regen upgrade. Tier 4 immediately is not terrible. Actually, let's put a At least something in that one I just built. Use the extra mana, potentially get mana pool upgrade before first wave. Oh, I see what you're saying. The mana that you don't have to spend on crafting initial gems. Makes sense. I think we wanted that there, actually. Maybe that's not as good of a tower placement as I thought. Maybe if they make it down here, it covers more, but left one probably would have been better, now that I think about it. This is a toxic gem. Oh, chance of triple damage. It's like chance for crit, basically. I need an AoE damage gem near the base there. So I think if I move this left one, then I'd cover the entire starting run, but I'd only lose like one square on this tile, so I think I misplaced that tower. Still developing my GemCraft vision. I said before, I haven't played too many tower defense games. Is there like a archetypical tower defense games, like Plants vs. Zombies or something like that, that anyone that's a fan is expected to have played? It seems like GemCraft is actually pretty popular. Oh, this is where I'm my punishment for not having AoE damage, right? GemCraft is popular in Monkey Tower Defense. Not sure if there's a defining example. Balloons Tower Defense is your favorite because it's sillier. I think a lot of my failures early in this game were obsession with getting pure gems. I don't think that really matters that much at all. Too late for this wave, but... one of those guys for an emergency. Balloons, not monkey. Let's see. Try to eke out a mana upgrade here. See on. Get that triple damage proc, please. Okay. Switching gems. Alright, I'm gonna wait. balloons to follow this for a subblock instead of moving on to the next to previous chapter. Okay. Down to check it out regardless. Really regretting placing this tower here. I guess when you go to place the tower, it doesn't project the AoE radius. About to have a really bad day, aren't I? Guess I can hit it again on the backswing there, right? Hit the one on the right. Hit the boss. The entire size of the maybe someday section of your subblock list? Oh, okay. Tower's got a use now. Probably could have gotten better use from the start of the map there. If I hadn't screwed it up earlier. Anyway, improved slightly for higher grade gems, which is why it doesn't project. Let's see. Yeah, at this stage, I just haven't been getting lucky on rolling red gems. I speak it, and it happens finally. Actually. Oh shit, no, let's keep the fast guys. Fast wave, freaking me out. Speak things into existence. Now give me a red gem. Nope. Didn't work. Let's do that. It's a 6 and a 6. I'll mix them here in a sec after this wave. Oof. Big oof. And there's a second one behind him too, right? Come on. There you go. Alright, it's gonna loop around, which is probably gonna kill me. Oh, I think I just barely missed the moat. Whew. Thought I was gonna die. Did I not successfully mix those? I guess I didn't. Select him and see how much damage he does. Totally calculated, exactly. You understand. That tower was probably ill-advised. I guess I don't know whether it was going to kill me or not. Maybe not try to upgrade my gems at the entrance right when I move a wave forward. It seems like maybe not the best idea. They both can target this square. Oh, 3 of them can. Maybe. Any idea why this won't combine? Right there it goes. It's weird. You get a pretty big score bonus for doing mana pool upgrades, right? Wonder what the argument is for that, because like mana pool upgrades still feel like something that you want to be doing all the time anyway. I wonder if they consider it to be kind of gimping yourself to take the upgrade. Enough to merit bonus points for having done it? I don't know. Fast wave, great. First try. If you deselect a gem, it turns off combine. You misdropped and drag it over without re-engaging combine. I see. 15 gems, 25 gems. You have reached a higher level. Not as great that time. How are we doing on skill points? Any level 27 for dual gem mastery. Lower initial and incremental cost of building sounds amazing. I think this is the one that I'm most excited for. Because it takes skill to know when you can safely use the mana pool skill, and so if you use it and survived, it's evidence of skill, right? That kind of puts you behind on your gem economy the moment you turn it on. It's a lot of starting towers. It makes me a little nervous, actually. Why would they give me that many gems at the beginning? By many towers, I mean, not gems. Let's see. I think this square is covered by all of those towers, so it should be pretty high value for a moat. This one is... I can't tell if that's in this one's range. It might be just barely out of it. Try to get diamond gems in all of these since I can get so many shots off right at the start. Let's see what we can do. Still not a lot of AoE. Okay, I'll start combining those here soon. Maybe after this wave starts to clear out a little bit. It's got a little bit of splash, I think. Chain hit's not the same as splash, though, is it? And shock is a, like, kind of slows them briefly when it hits them. Slowly getting there. Not really obeying my own wisdom of Super Gem, but I really gotta take advantage of the fact that I have a square where 4 towers can hit enemies all at once, right? Start mixing these guys soon. Start staffing all of my towers at least something, right? It's 720 mana for another pool upgrade. I can probably manage right now, actually. Chain hit carries effects but hits less people than splash. Splash is just damage, doesn't have a proc hidden area. I see. Big damage. Upgrade. Keep on rolling. Keep moving. This is a really cool genre. Is there like an agreed upon first ever tower defense game? Like, did someone must have like inadvertently created this genre? I don't think it's like a MOBA where it started as a mod, was it? May have tapped it a little too early. I guess we'll see here in a second. It still blows my mind that MOBAs are so popular. Like, it's a similar mind blow to Souls games being as popular as they are. They seem like they have an enormous barrier to entry. But League of Legends is still pretty popular. Hey, Turnus, welcome back. How you doing? Fast ones. These are both 6. Now I got a 7. StarCraft 2 mod called Tower Defense Tycoon. Right on. probably wasn't necessary, but I panicked. Pokes fun at the genre a ton for people who have played many. Those are fun. Like, late generation, you can start doing art that comments on the art. Actually, keep those staff with something if we can. Because I keep wanting to do my gem experimentation further away from my towers that are actually helping, but like I also want to upgrade the towers that are helping as quickly as possible, you know? It's a hard call to make. 7, 6... Oh, I see shock. Made it shake in place for a second there. That was nice. That might not be a terrible place for a moat. I shouldn't get that far most of the time, but just in case they do. Thousands of miles of trenches dug across Europe in history's largest team tower defense work. Nice. I like this stage a lot, because I like starting with so many towers. It feels like it's creating more interesting decisions about where to place stuff. Kingdom Rush? Right on. I'm gonna move these down. They're not taking up my slots. Precious slots. Seventh consecutive year. Lance Stronghold was the first to leak in the Tour de France. French for tower defense. Hey, Ludifex, how's it going? Sorry about Quantum Break. You didn't miss it, actually. Well, you would have, but the TV episode wouldn't play, so I have to play it next week. I have to download a 75 gig file because I think they shut down the streaming services for the game. Yay! Question mark? That's fine. We'll wrap early today. Andrew and I got some stuff to do before she goes on her trip. And I'll do a 4-hour sub block next Friday. I don't know how many more TV episodes are after this next one we're about to watch for Act 5. 1, 6. Both 7. Indeed. And level 6 plus gems, do not screw around. So 7. This one ends with a boss rush, boss wave. Nuke the shit out of these guys. See if I can squeeze in another mana upgrade. Probably not. I need 1560. Yeah, this thing dying is going to end the stage, so probably not going to happen. There's no reason not to dump my remaining gems that I have no plans to use at the end of the stage, right? May as well. Grade 8 over there first. Shit. Hopefully that pays off in time. It's a good question for chat. I haven't played enough tower defense to know much about the genre. I think I'm hosed. I think it's about to blow me up. Holy shit. Cutting it a little bit close there. Just a little bit. Damn. 15 gem bombs on monsters in one battle, 25 gems in a battle, 30 gems in a battle, 4 gems of grade 7 or higher. Oh, it was an epic battle. It was supposed to be super hard. Yikes. Completely calculated. I knew I did the Zach Galifianakis math gif. Figuring out exactly how many hit points the monster had. Dual gem mastery. So what does that actually mean? That's gems that aren't pure? Or only have 2 types? Actually, I don't want to completely... Well, I guess I have to now. Only 2 types. I see. So it's something I have to pay attention to that if I want to take advantage of it. I want this. Lower initial and incremental cost for buildings. That sounds great. Yeah, this is basically my first real time game spending more than like 20 minutes on a tower defense game, so it's all pretty brand new to me. Oh, right, I can't combine. I'd have to play more of them. I feel like there's only so much you can do in this space, though. Until it stops being tower defense, right? Acceleration's different. But being able to trigger a wave early. I can see tower types being a thing you could explore. Provide tower defenses tend to be pretty similar in most ways. The cool few unique concepts. I feel like at this point you kind of want to make a like bread and butter, straightforward game, and then add like a twist on top of it. You don't want to go too crazy with completely reforming the genre. This is coming from somebody who doesn't play the genre, so I don't really know what's out there. There's a lot of things I could imagine, like you've got stationary towers, you've got enemies of variable speeds, you have attacks which hit one thing, attacks which hits lots of things, attacks which debuff. There's the pathing of the enemies that you can adjust. You can think of like a gem that makes an enemy turn around for a few seconds and then turn, but that's like kind of a degenerate mechanic because it's effectively the same as slowing them down or freezing them in place. It's just a little bit different from a flavor perspective. Something in there at least. Google Atari's Rampart was the first tower defense. Huh. Warcraft 3 made mods that were tower defense? So isn't Dota technically an evolution of a tower defense mod? It's pretty wild. At the end of the day, they're very different genres. Dota was taking this idea of like there are towers that automatically attack waves of creeps, which is very tower defense, and then adding characters on top of it. The hero characters from the Warcraft 3 campaign. Building a mod called Narum, then we'll do a tower defense side quest. That's fun. I think that's where you can be creative, is you could try to make tower defense work in other genres. Like if you could make a tower defense game in a Mario Maker level, could be pretty cool. It's robust enough to serve as a full game. It's not relegated just to minigame territory, but I think it also does work really well as a minigame in a game that's otherwise not focused on it. Oh right, I don't have a mana for it. Big old gem. Multi-layer. That's an interesting question. I mean, one thing that I think you can do, you can kind of take a page from Mario and Luigi and like Undertale, and you can make an RPG where the battles are almost any other kind of game. Right, because Undertale is a turn-based RPG where the battle mechanic is bullet hell, and Mario and Luigi is a turn-based RPG where the battle mechanic is kind of a rhythm game. So that's something that you can always, you know, just build RPG on top of whatever your game's type is. You have to be clever about it to make it interesting, make different abilities do different things. It would be fun to do a tower defense RPG. I feel like you could make that happen. Fighting as guerrilla fighters against an empire that's already won in a 4X game. That's That's pretty cool. I haven't played a 4X game before, right? Civ is the closest thing, and it's like Babby's first 4X. Don't tell me Cadence of Hyrule. Itching to play that game. Super pumped for it. It like scratches all of my itches. Civilization counts as a 4X game? Okay. I understand it was like kind of a very simple, stripped down 4X game though. It's not hardcore by any stretch. Straight up is 4X. I see. So maybe it's like maybe a good comparison is the roguelike versus roguelite community. Like it seems like just about everybody's fine with roguelites, but you occasionally get some niche people that are like, no, it has to be permadeath only, no progression. Ah, I'm angry. Let's actually do that. It's a little late in doing it, but cool. Could have timed that better. Never heard of 4X fans dissing Civ? Okay, that's good to hear. I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked the little bit I played of... I played enough Civ 4 on Leon's subblock that I kind of got to the point where I understood the just one more turn meme. NetHack has weird stuff they have special handling for. Oh, I think that there's a place for roguelikes and a place for roguelites. I don't think that there's a correct side on that argument, but I think they're also kind of like apples and oranges. Like the existence of roguelike shouldn't get in the way of the enjoyment of people who like roguelites and vice versa. Crammed a ton of decisions in there that only kind of matter. Yeah, I feel like a lot of, again, my only experience is Civ, but it seems like a lot of the fun of that game is developing the mastery and understanding which decisions are really relevant. You know, it's sort of like when you solve a JRPG and you realize, oh, the most powerful thing I can invest in by far is something like haste. Like, no other white magic buff is as important as haste, because haste lets me do everything twice as fast. Like, there's a lot of things like that, it feels like in Civ. You're like, okay, this tree is extremely powerful to take early. This one's neat from a flavor perspective, but it doesn't really deliver in the same way that this other one delivers. What was that game? Renowned Explorers that Sanguine Haze had on their subblock? Was like a roguelike 4X game with diplomacy was the way you fought enemies. Like roguelike 4X tactical RPG. That game was wild. We beat it on stream. I just had a really lucky run early on. The Sanguine hasn't kept it on their subblock, but check that out if you haven't. Bringing diplomacy is a good way to lose friends. Pass off complexity is depth. Yeah. I don't know. I have a complicated relationship with games that are mastery focused. Like, I want to say that I don't enjoy mastery in games. I'm using mastery to describe the feeling of like when you first play an MMO, the very first time you boot it up and the world is enormous and you don't know how anything works, you don't have any grasp of the mechanics, and you have to spend your first like month of playing constantly Googling things, reading forum posts, asking questions in game until you kind of grok everything. And that phase of play is very different from the phase of play in an MMO where you understand how everything works and you're the one that's answering the questions. And there are some games where there's like very little mastery that matters. Like your experience playing it at level 1 in your first hour isn't all that different from your experience playing it in your like 50th hour. But there are games that like the entire experience is built on that mastery thing. Like there's not a lot of interesting things going on in the second to second gameplay. It's just, oh, I know that at level 40 I need to buy haste enhancements. When you said speaking of rhythm games, Serp, I was already on board with you. I'm super pumped for that game too. I don't know if it's 100%able. If anyone wants to add it to the voting spreadsheet, probably 100% it. That's the thing. At least the way Necrodancer worked, it feels like 100%ing it is beating the game, like unlocking all the upgrades. It's probably what's going to happen by the time you beat it. So that might not be that helpful of a moniker there. Cutting it close again. I don't think I can afford to build another tower here. Alright. Modern version 24 players. So every single one of them promising to team up with them would try to win together. You have 100% it after 150 hours. I see. What does it mean to 100% it? Good diplomacy player with that playstyle. Alright, so we've got 6 minutes left, which I think you had 4 minutes left last time, Retro. I don't think I'll be able to finish the stage in 5 minutes, so I'll go ahead and upgrade my skills and we'll wrap it there. And we'll try to give you back that time next time. Let's see. It's probably as good as I'm going to get right now. Yeah, talk about friendship being lost. Yikes, Eternus. All right, future Marstead, keep up your strategy. I'll go ahead and pause the clock while I say this. Keep up your strategy of focusing on building a very high-level AoE gem at the start of the stage, and mix gems with Reckless Abandon. You don't need to worry about having pure gems. Do mana upgrades when you can, but try to get as much coverage at the beginning of the stage as you possibly can. Cool. And then I'll split the VOD, and I want to talk a little bit more about this diplomacy thing.